Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Transcendent AF with Iena SpiritWalker. Here, we help you unlock your superpowers, and we also talk about the challenges and blessings of existing as a spiritual being in a meat sack. Today, we have the amazing Dr. Christina Malassaw, and our title is Befriending Adverse Emotional Experiences. Dr. Christina, welcome to the show. Please tell the audience, who are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So I am a
Woo!
naturopathic doctor and I specialize in emotional wellness. So I'm not a therapist, but I have a lot of experience with emotions and just seeing my patients come in and the struggles they have. Usually the root cause is going to be emotional. And I also use biofeedback. So not only can I see the physical imbalances, but there's always underlying emotional imbalances that must be addressed because at the end of the day, emotions are just energy, and we need to find a way to process the energy so that we can feel better, feel balanced. So a lot of times people forget the whole emotional body, but I like to bring it in. I like to get to the root cause of people's ailments and problems. And I've also been through a lot of trauma myself. So I picked this as a specialty because I had a front row seat to adverse emotional experiences that I had to figure out for myself. So I was my own student first. And what I did was I found modalities. I've done a lot of them in my own healing process, and I got certified in the ones that really helped me to have breakthroughs and transformations.
That totally makes sense, and I love that. And there's so much to unpack here, and I don't want to get too sidetracked, but it's a total confirmation that the challenges that we have in our lives are often, our job is to get through it. So we may be helping others with it as well. And I'm
Yes.
the same way. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I helped a lot of people with trauma too. And I think it's beautiful that your modality also finds the trauma and the emotions in the body and how it creates physical effects. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, some people will carry maybe grief in the gut, but sometimes a report will show grief everywhere. So it's like, okay, we know that this is your main thing that you're dealing with. So even though you're having, gut issues, severe gut issues, it's showing up everywhere. So that's the root cause, right? So it's really interesting. It provides so much information, and that's just one aspect I use is biofeedback. But I love looking at that because it does provide a holistic picture.
Beautiful. And I'm very curious. I'm sure there's a reason why you called them adverse emotional experiences rather than negative emotional experiences.
Yeah, adverse, because all emotions, I think where we go wrong is we try to maybe demonize some emotions as though we're not supposed to experience them. So when sadness comes, of course, it's denser. It's just denser. That's all it is. Okay. So it's heavier. So if we were to measure it, because it's a frequency, it's going to be a denser and heavier. And that's why it feels that way. But is it necessarily negative versus positive? And in my mindset, we can learn something from all emotions. So they can provide us something positive, even if it feels adverse or difficult in the moment. I have learned the most from pain. And so I am grateful for the pain I have had in my life because I don't think I would have had the breakthroughs I've had to grow as a person without having pain. It's just like, how do you become a diamond? Well, a diamond is made because it is roughed up, right? It has to go through this process before it comes out and it's glistening and beautiful and into something more high vibrational, right? And so that we go through the same experience, the hero's journey. So whatever it is, we're going to experience some adverse things along the way. It's not all peaches and cream. The human experience is a full spectrum of emotions, and we can be grateful for them. We're not always going to be happy. We're going to have the full spectrum, and I think that's where we go wrong is people expect to always feel good, but that is not reality. We're going to have all sorts of emotions to experience, and that's what makes us human.
I love that. That's so true. I recently heard a TED Talk. I wish I would have written her name down. There's a neurobiologist, and she was saying that it's been discovered that emotional pain and physical pain are located in the same region in the brain, which I find
Mhm.
fascinating and also very validating, because I think it speaks to all of us how intense emotional pain can be and why it's not, just an emotion.
Right. Yeah, because it's still just it's energy, and that's how I like to look at it. I like to look at it as energy, and I think what we're all searching for in life, and what I've noticed missing with people and my patients, we all want connection,
Mhm.
and everyone wants to feel love. And when it's missing, it's like we keep searching for it. And this is where addiction comes in and escapism and all the things we do to avoid our present state. But love is just, it's a vibration. So it's not even
Mhm.
an emotion, it's an
Mhm.
experience, it's a state of being. And we get there by not owning and becoming these adverse experiences. So we just observe them. We can observe sadness. I was sad yesterday. I don't know if it was the collective, the moon, what was going on. I was sad. And I was like, okay, this is good because I'm going on this podcast tomorrow. So I just let the sadness come. I mean, my face was wet and everything, but I feel good today, right? So it passed. It processed through me. It was just energy moving through. When we resist it, and then we get constipated emotions.
Love
We're
that.
not fluid. It's not flowing.
Mhm.
And then we're holding on to something and you resist it, it makes it worse. So we just let those
Mhm.
things flow and then we can stay in that energy of love. We're not owning the sadness, we're not owning anger. You let it process so you can stay where you want to vibrate. If you
Mhm.
own it and you stay in those adverse experiences, it's going to bring you down, right? Because it's denser. And then you won't be
Mhm.
able to get into that vibration of love. And then you look for that in other people, right? That's what people you become attached. Oh, this person looks happy. This person can give me what's missing. But it's really, we have to create that in ourselves, that state of being, that love that we are
Mhm.
all searching for, that connection. You have to connect within yourself first.
Mhm. How I love that. How do you suggest someone allow the adverse emotion to flow and not own it?
Well, one, we don't ignore it. So you acknowledge what is there. And one way you could do it is through somatic experiencing, right? Because emotions are visceral. They're in the body. A lot of times we want to intellectualize it. Why am I sad? What is going on? I don't want to feel this way. Let me go do this to avoid it. When all you have to do is sink into yourself and feel it, and it's going to come up through sensations. And so the more you can get into your body and feel it physically, you can let it go. It just wants to be acknowledged. At the end of the day, it's like a child begging for candy and no, no, you push them away. Just acknowledge it and let it come up and it's going to pass through. The more we stop it up, it's going to get more intense. This is where physical ailments come from. I've seen, so many cancer patients or having deep emotional wounding that they are suppressing. It's part of the cancer experience. So it could be
Yep.
physical, but a lot of times it's emotions, deep held emotions that we need to just let it go, right? So recognize it first and it's valid. Just validate your own feelings, right? Validate your sadness. Gosh, I feel sad today. I'm just gonna go sit in my room and I'm gonna cry. you know, I'm gonna feel what this
Right.
feels like. So I love to help people because if you've been through trauma, when I first came out of my divorce, I didn't know what I felt. So I was an empath, highly sensitive person going into it. But to survive, I had to shut my emotions off. Over time, I was trained that way, right? So when I came out and wanted to start feeling again, I didn't know what I felt. because I was still numb, or it was so many, I couldn't define even what I was feeling. So that's why I got certified in somatic experiencing, because I wanted to feel again. Because I didn't want to just be numb. That's no way to
Hmm.
live. That's no way to live. So I got deep into meditation. It's been a practice of mine for almost 7 years. I do it daily. I personally have to do it an hour a day. You don't have to, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, wherever you want to start. But for me, that's what I do for myself. And just like anything, like if you're going to go to the gym, you have your proper clothes you're going to wear. You're not going to work out in jeans, right? You won't be able to move around. So you got your proper jeans on, and you got your gear, and you got your water bottle, and you're going to the gym, right? So meditation, I like to do it a ritual as well. I like to get ready. So people will try to slip into meditation and just sit there and be like, I can't focus. My mind's chattering. You prep yourself for meditation. And for me, I still use music. So I put on binaural beats. Again, that's frequency. You could put on the love frequency if that's what you want to feel, right? And it's going to
Hmm.
help your brain to calm down and to resonate with those frequencies. So I always use music. I walk outside first, barefoot, just to ground, because this is another somatic experience. Your feet on bare ground. The earth has an energetic frequency. If you are aligning yourself to it, that's a great way to prep yourself before meditation, right? It's very relaxing. You have the sun, the wind, the birds. I mean, it's just all there for you to have that experience. So I like
Hmm.
to do that. I'll use an essential oil. I'll put on my binaural beats. And I also drink water and minerals. And here's why I love water and minerals. So for us to conduct electromagnetic activity, we are electromagnetic beings. So is the earth, right? And minerals are metals. So they're conductors of this electromagnetic activity. So if you
Hmm.
want to feel and not be as numb, this is a great way to start enlivening the cells to conduct electromagnetic activity. So I love using minerals in my water. So
Hmm.
I'll do that, make sure I'm hydrated, go into meditation with all that prep work. And then when I'm done, I'll journal about the experience. But there's no expectation during it. Just start feeling into your body, releasing tension
Right.
in the body, and just seeing what sensations. Are your shoulders tight? Put your attention on your body. And those sensations come up, and it can help you to start processing feelings. If you're having a moment of rupture, you're in traffic, and people get road rage, feel into your body what happened first, right? Were you tense and tight, gripping the steering wheel, gripping your jaw? Somatically go ahead and release all of that. It's just emotions trying to come up. It's energy. You've got too much energy, and it needs to be processed and allowed to flow.
I love that. Yeah, there's so many nuggets in that. First of all, I know people are going to be asking, how do you add minerals to your water? Can you speak
hmm
to that?
hmm Yeah, so I like using liquid minerals. I use Vitality Boost, it's called. And so I just add those minerals in my water, 32 ounces, and I just put it in, you just, once a day. So just a good mineral source. You can use fulvic acid as well, just to
Mhm.
mineralize your water. It's just something everyone is kind of deficient in, because our food and soil is not amazing as it should be, right? So we want to just add that in.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. That's amazing. And the somatic, I mean, I think we sort of get the picture that maybe you should speak a little bit more about it, but it sounds like somatic processing,
Mhm.
which is a phrase that you have used often. It sounds to me like it's a way of releasing the emotion that's trapped in our bodies. Is that right? By letting it go?
Mhm. Yeah, so a lot of times we want to intellectualize our emotions. We're trying to make sense of them in our head. And emotions are felt. It's a deep internal experience, it's energy. So by somatically, we have to release it. Trauma is trapped in the body. And so we have to release it somatically. So we have to get into the physical. Exercising helps, Pilates helps, yoga, all of this, because we're actually putting our body into motion. We're releasing things. And so if we're going to, for me, during meditation, again, feeling into the body and seeing where it's tense, relaxing your body first, and then allowing and seeing what comes up, you know. So, yeah, I like to do that. It'll show up in your body in different ways. I mean, for some, anger may feel hot. So we don't even have to call it anger. Okay, what are you sensing right now? I'm sensing heat in my body. I feel it's tense. You start to use all those adjectives to describe your experience. And this is a way of letting it know it's being, felt and heard, and you're holding space for the experience. You're not avoiding it and ignoring it and escaping your emotional experience. And then it gets easier. The more you do this, you're like, oh, you know, I've gone through so much trauma that I remember one day I was crying, like, because I thought I should be. And I'm like, wait, it's not that sad what happened. You know, you know, it was the strangest realization. I was like, wait, I can handle this. It's okay. I can be here in this present moment with this experience, and I don't have to fall apart just because I think maybe I should be, because it was pretty dramatic. So you become, you develop more emotional intelligence, and with
Mhm,
that allowance, again, feelings should be fluid, like water just
mhm,
going through the body. And
mhm,
if we allow them and acknowledge them, and we don't judge the emotion, we just observe and let it pass through.
mhm.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
We're gonna make it.
Yes. I do want to speak on I also do emotion code. So I like to
Okay,
work
yeah.
with the heart wall, because if you're human, you probably have a heart wall. And a heart wall is trapped emotions over time that you've kind of just gathered, and you develop this energetic protection around your heart. And so I love, love, love helping people to remove their heart wall.
Mhm,
And it's either trauma or perceived trauma. It's something you could not process in the moment because it was too intense at the time. And that trauma became trapped in the body. And so, particularly in this case with the heart wall work, we're working with, that protection you put up around your heart. And if we have an energetic wall, we cannot give and receive love, as well as we can't be as open to the experience, right? We're going to be guarded, withdrawn, we can't fully shine how we are meant to shine. And so, um, I love that work. It's so interesting to sit with someone, their healing process, it just unfolds organically in the moment. Whatever their subconscious wants to come up and let go of in that moment, in that session, that's what happens. So it's always kind of an adventure for for the person. You never know what's coming up. You don't know what's bothering you. And I will give my personal experience. So I'll be vulnerable here because this is why it changed my life. Um, I was molested as a child, but I could not remember what age. I just knew it happened, I put it in the back, moved on, didn't think about it. And when I was doing my own heart wall work, the emotion of shock came up at age 9. And I thought, and I'm like, I know exactly what this is, because shock is what you feel when you're being sexually abused. So I
yes.
remember I felt like a statue. I couldn't move. Your soul shock. You can't believe that this is happening. And so when I let go of that, I also let go of back pain that I had for 20 years in my
Wow.
thoracic spine. And so it immediately went away. I even had scoliosis, and that was no longer there in the x-ray. So that emotion was so intense, it actually pulled on my vertebrae. And then once I let that energy go, my vertebrae could come back into alignment. So that is the power of emotions, and letting go and surrendering and not resisting and holding on. Again, constipated energy, right? It has to flow out of you. And just being okay with that. allowing it, being compassionate, not judging, and just letting yourself have the experience. That's how we grow, transform, change, shine, and all of that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dr. Christina, thank you so much for bringing all your wisdom here today. Please tell the audience, how do they find you?
So my website is ivvitality.com, and I think you'll provide the other links because I am rebranding myself. So I'm going from a more, physical into more of the emotionals just because I see it's such a need. So I am currently rebranding myself. And so you'll have all that there. But my website's
Mhm.
ivvitality.com. Everything I do can be done virtually. So we could do somatic experiencing, even the biofeedback. I mail the scanner to you and we can scan and see what emotions you're holding on to. And also, of course, emotion code could be done virtually. So
Beautiful. Yes. And whether you are watching this on YouTube or you are listening to this on any of the audio channels, all the information to get a hold of Dr. Christina is in the show notes. Dr. Christina, is there any other words of wisdom that you want to leave the audience with about how to befriend our adverse emotional experiences?
just embrace compassion, self-compassion, and grace. Grace is such a big part of healing, and not blaming yourself, not judging yourself that you should be further along. Just be with the experience. It's going to unfold as it should. There's always that higher energy, source that is looking out for you and working along with you, especially if you are committed to the healing journey. And so just give yourself some compassion and grace.
Beautiful. Dr. Christina, thank you so much for being here on Transcendent AF with Iena SpiritWalker. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you
Check
so
out those
much.
links, guys, and get connected with Dr. Christina. She's got some awesome wisdom for you. If you have been wondering how you can work with me privately, I have recently opened up a group mentoring program. It is for 6 months and it's called the Shift My Vibe Tribe. And here we are going to unlock your psychic and healing gifts and help you break free and step into that biggest version of who you came here to be as your divine being in a meat sack. Click the link in the show notes for the Shift My Vibe Tribe. I'll see you in there.